Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so New Nation is taking on LVT, and LVT is an awesome alliance. If you guys don't know, it's led by Lothamtators. He made the alliance basically specifically for alliance war, with alliance war focus, with also kind of emphasis of it being absolutely squeaky clean alliance that doesn't allow any shenanigans or people who commit any shenanigans in their alliance. And I can definitely respect and appreciate that, and that is exactly the reason why I'm in New Nation as well, because New Nation is about one of 5 or so alliances that are actually trying their best to be absolutely clean without involving any people who do break TOS. And believe it or not, there's only about 5 of those in Masters bracket. And that's awesome. So definitely huge props to them. Also, they have been quickly ascending, obviously, because they made a new alliance. They started fairly low, so it took for them several seasons to get to tier 1. And now I believe this is like the 2nd season they are playing in tier 1. And they are also rapidly improving, and that's definitely noticeable. They definitely brought their A game against New Nation, which I'm going to be honest, slightly ticked me off, because when we matched LVT, in my head, the thought process was fairly clear. If New Nation plays the way we normally do, which is, 2 deaths or 3 deaths or under, well, it's typically 2 or less, we should be perfectly fine, because LVT statistically gives away 5 to 8, 4 to 8, something like that. So I wasn't particularly worried, but, and here is going to be the important thing, I'm not going to tell the entire war score before my fights, but what you guys need to know is by the time I woke up and started thinking about doing my fights, notice that LVT had cleared the entire map, giving away 2 deaths. And that seemed like a bit of a stretch of bad luck, I suppose. So they finished all 150 fights very early, giving away only 2. And that is, a great war from their part. And that also put a ton of pressure on us. At a time I was doing my fights, we were actually tied. So we still had 29 fights to go, and we were tied. So we could only effectively lose this war. It was for ours to lose. We die once, we're out of it. To make the situation even worse, one of our 2 deaths was a disconnect. So we just seemingly can't catch a break this war. But the point was clear. We needed to finish clearing our battle group, 29 more fights in our BG, all of them, without dying at all. And that, by extension, puts a ton of stress on everybody, especially considering some of the fights we had to do were not necessarily kind of like textbook perfect. But let's get to that. So I am fortunate enough though to bring in a champion that I feel extremely comfortable with, knowing that even if things do go wrong, I have a wiggle room here. So I do have full Kingpin Trinity, and boosted Kingpin's health is 93k. So I have to get hit in the face quite a lot to get KO'd with Kingpin, and that is kind of like the biggest relief here. And this first fight is against Spot, steady build up Fury node, which I don't mind at all, and I can't parry because I have reduced ability accuracy here, but at the same time, we can see that Kingpin just ate that Spot for breakfast without even needing anything to wash him down. No, it's like one combo at level 1, pretty much the fight over, because rank 5 boosted up Kingpin is a nasty piece of work. Even if the fight had gone further, it would have been fine, because Kingpin reduced ability accuracy, so Spot will not get his spots as easily, so on and so forth. So it was a good matchup. And now we're going to have to go up against Unblockable I-Bomb, where I get clipped very early on. And this I-Bomb is going to be unblockable most of the time, except for the moments when I don't have any rages on me, and I quite literally just have the overpower buff. But Kingpin obviously again purifies all the poisons, and I drop my level 1, and then I drop my level 1 again, and as a result of that, he's ticking down quite substantially with Degen. And because of Mr. Sinister synergy, every time he uses special attack, he's power locked, which enables me to be even more aggressive, which, you know, sometimes can be a bit of a downfall, because I do then need to find another opening rather than just baiting special attack. But it all worked out relatively straightforward. So this, needless to say, was not a fight that I was worried about. Now, this fight actually did scare me a bit going in. And typically, Kingpin against Hulkling, I'm not worried at all. But just before actually starting my fight, he has the steady build-up unblockable node on him. And I wasn't worried about getting enough debuffs and Hulkling being unblockable at all. The thing that did worry me here was the fact that Hulkling had 100% increased defensive ability accuracy, which means that Kingpin's level 1 shouldn't really do too much to stop Hulklings like regen and indestructible procs, and with that, it can just turn out to be a super long and annoying fight. And then obviously for a moment you'd think, I have Hood on my team, I could use Hood to nuke down this Hulkling, but Hulkling is a tactic defender, so he's immune to stagger and nullify effects. So that obviously does kind of take Hood out of the table there. And I spoke with my officers about it because we didn't notice it initially necessarily, but we figured that Kingpin should still be able to just power through. I do have the rank advantage here. I have 93k HP, and most importantly, Hulkling will not be regenerating the degen damage that I end up dealing. And that is kind of like the key aspect. Basically spam my level 1s, even if it doesn't stop the ability accuracy too effectively, I should be able to just, you know, rely on that level 1 degen that does, you know, fairly substantial amount of damage. So here we can see that he has his indestructible, but he also gets power locked after he throws a special attack, which again enables me to be somewhat more aggressive. And then I go in for my second degen, again Despair adding in a little bit as well to mitigate that regen that he gets by getting punched in the face constantly. And he's going to be basically unblockable the entire fight, but as long as I don't mess up too hard. This was a bit scary fight. Fighting Hulklings without a great counter or perfect counter is quite scary, but here we can see that his health is already down to 40%. I have my degen active. It's ticking for more than he's regening. That's kind of like the key aspect there. And here I add in another degen, and this fight is basically going perfect. I haven't gotten touched. I have a full nice yellow health bar, and Kingpin just absolutely smacks through the problems here. And it went so much more smoothly than I expected it to, or I thought it would. And it turns out that I was kind of worried about nothing. But I suppose it's better to be worried than blindsided, especially in a war like this, where, you know, one mistake, that's it, game over for our Alliance. Now we have Safeguard Quicksilver, which I'm not too fast. This Quicksilver is very, very annoying in a sense that he just did not want to throw his heavy attack. When I fight Kingpin versus Quicksilver, my plan pretty much always is bait out heavy attack and punish it, because then he doesn't evade. And he just doesn't throw his heavy attack. And at some point here, I was like, I'm going to start getting here one heavy attack he finally throws. And at that, I use that opportunity to put my degen on, which at this point is sticking for like 1k there already. It's not too bad. But again, he isn't throwing that heavy attack. Finally. Man, this was such a bad Quicksilver AI. Again, I do get to throw another level 1, which again, that degen's putting in work in background now. He drops his level 2. I have no problems just blocking that, because Kingpin is just such a tank. And now again, just go in for a full combo there. Drop my level 1. That's 870 per tick on the degen. Quicksilver's power lock now. I'm going to go for another level 2. So he has 2 degens. And then I just go a couple belly bumps, because why not actually get the heavy attack fury, which is... Again, doing the belly bumps is kind of tricky, but again, I wasn't worried against Quicksilver. Even if he does resist me and drops a combo at me, that's just going to feed my overpowers. So I wasn't, again, too fast about that. And now this fight is sketchy. This fight is going to be sketchy as well. My final fight of the war, going up against Wong. And the problem with stun immune Wongs is always that you do need to find your openings and you do need to be on point with your intercepts. And here I waste my Indestructible 3 boost immediately. And here I'm just contemplating, how do I get my openings? I kind of ran in at that particular unstoppable there on purpose. Now, I was trying to dex this, but that's fine. And now I finally drop my level 1, so he's starting to tick down. I'm at 77% already, having absorbed quite a few strikes. But now that I have my degens on Wong, the fight, you know, immediately I'm not as stressed, because we can see that he doesn't really do much damage if I have my degens on, because those degens significantly reduce his attack rating. And those degens are also quite important, so I don't get too many overpower buffs, and I don't kind of like overfeed his Mystic Dispersion. Now here finally I land some nice intercepts. Sweet, everything's going fine. I don't have any buffs on me either. Now we're gonna see here he is at 93 energy, 96, 99 energy, 100. So I drop my level 1 here, and I'm just hoping that hitting his block and degens will let me finish this fight out. Because if I hit him now, I take a huge burst of damage. So getting hit was actually kind of super helpful, because that enabled me to throw another level 1. And that Wong can keep his 100 energy. I'm not going to hit him with that. But it was enough to get him down. So I did not die in my fights. This was definitely a clumsy fight. You can see that Kingpin absorbed 19 hits. 19 hits to the face. But we finished with 62% health, and that's why having rank 5 Kingpin is for the cool, clumsy kids. Didn't die. Wong is down. Even 19 hits smacked in the face. This is definitely a bit of a dodgy execution here, but that's okay. So how did the war go? And again, huge props to LVT for clearing it with 2 deaths only. There's definitely better than I thought they would do, and better than we expected, and they definitely had a great war. And we kind of matched that. We didn't have like great war considering like our season stats, because we did go like 3 wars in a row, dying only once, giving away 1 death. But now last 2 wars, I think we have died twice as well. Last 2 or 3 wars, we have given away 2 deaths. And we tied them in death bonuses. But just how we lost to GT40 with 1-1 score, but being slower than them, in this case, against LVT, we won the war by the same principle, by just being faster than they were exploring. And we kind of knew that, because they did explore it quite early, and knowing that it is over 10,000 seconds, it's typically a good indicator that we can beat them on time, for sure. And yeah, so we did win. So this was war number 8, I believe. And this changes our record to 6-2. And after this war, currently, we are in 2nd position. So we have 4 wars left in the season, and obviously it's all up to us to finish strong, and hopefully we can snatch that top 2 spot. Obviously losing against GT40 kind of like took away our chances of top 1, but we still are definitely in the running for top 2. That's where we currently are, and hopefully the matchmaking is kind. Hopefully we play well enough, and hopefully we finish in the 2nd spot, and that would be awesome, but I do not want to jinx that. So let me know how is your season going, guys, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the